From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up, wake up. WarChant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's.
Now here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Oh, baby, I like it, boy.
Wake up! Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's. I'm Aslan Hajavandi alongside Corey Clark. We're part of the WarChant.com family. Use the promo code WarChant30 for 30 free days of access to the ultimate Seminole sports source. Students, email us from your FSU student email address, support@WarChant.com. You'll get a promo code for a whole year, only $12. Whole year, $12. It's amazing. Coming up on the show, we'll have our over-unders along with our Zaxby's giveaway, free salad or 5 free chicken fingers, and the raw one. It might be rated C for Clorox or something. I don't know. I can't think of anything clever, Corey. Maybe you could. Kenny Shaw, he'll be a guest speaker at Sod Talk on Saturday. That goes down 90 minutes before kickoff right outside the Sod Cemetery. He'll be joining us later on in the program. He's a cool dude, Corey. His vibe, right? His vibe's cool. Smooth.
He is. He was always an interesting kid to talk to when he was here, just because he was one of those. Terrence Brooks was another one where they just Jernigan, that whole team really, and we all remember who their head coach was, but they had no problem just telling you how they felt about things. Like they were never going to throw teammates under the bus, the coach under the bus, but they would be pretty honest and open about why something went wrong or why something went right. So yeah, good to talk to that kid. Wouldn't you say rated R for raw? Why rated C for Clorox? What does that mean?
You got to clean the germs, man. It's raw. It's like raw meat, man. Just you got to salmonella.
Yeah, no, not right. Your best. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's still going to be a great show, folks. Don't judge us by that.
All right, so we spoke to head coach Willie Taggart on Thursday morning as the days start blurring into one another. No announcing of a starting quarterback. James Blackman apparently has practiced. He did not tell us the extent of his practicing ability. But did say that if healthy, James will play. When asked if healthy, would he start? He says if he's healthy, he would start. And, I should have had these all ready to go. The replies on War Chant were just nothing short of amazing. Corey, what was your reaction when you heard the comments from Coach Taggart start off his Thursday morning?
I mean, my initial reactions were, okay, he's not that healthy and he's not starting. We've talked about it. It makes no sense to say, yeah, James is out. I don't know how in the world. I can't imagine that it would. I guess there is actually enough difference between the two quarterbacks that it might change the way you prepare with Hornibrook and with Blackman. Different blind sides, different arm strengths. So maybe different mobility. So maybe having them have to prepare for James Blackman, devote some time to preparing for him or scouting him. Is taking them away from scouting for the guy that's probably going to play, which is Hornibrook. So I think it's gamesmanship, man. I think the fact that he said if he's healthy, he'll start. Well, he didn't say, hey, yeah, he's healthy, he's playing, he's starting. I think that's just something to say to make sure the NC State coaches prepare for him. But that I do think Hornibrook will be the guy that's out there starting. I don't think Blackman's healthy enough to start or play.
Yeah. They're done, man. Everyone has sold their stock on James Blackman. What consequential deep throw has Blackman actually made? Blackman has not won any games for FSU this year. Alex Hornibrook has. I'm hoping, praying, this is just coach speak. If Blackman starts Saturday, I will be at a complete loss for words. These are words from the Tribal Council, not my words. I'm just reading them out. It's bizarre. I want a son someday, Corey. I want him to play football. I want him to play football for Florida State, win a whole bunch of football games, but I don't know if I want him to play quarterback. I don't know if I want my kid to play sports. Maybe I just want him to be a nerd and be really smart. Like, this is just how he's done. He's done. No one wants any part to do with him anymore.
That's the position, man. And when his record is whatever it is, I don't believe in quarterback records per se. But he hasn't won a lot of games at Florida State. They had some meltdowns this year where he was the quarterback and Hornibrook didn't get to play. And so people are like, well, let's see the other guy. That's how it's always been. But Blackman was that guy last year. You know what I mean? Like we were the show that kept saying, why don't they play James Blackman? What do they have to lose? So Blackman's been in this position. So he was the most popular quarterback on the roster last year. Now that we've seen him, he's the least popular quarterback on the roster. Now, if Hornibrook plays, there's a chance he becomes the least. That's just the nature of the position. But I do think we talked about it. But Hornibrook looked good in his, what would you say, 2 quarters, quarter and a half, 6 drives, 5 drives, whatever he had. He looked good. He led 3 touchdowns. So let's see what this looks like. Let's see if it looks any better. There's a chance it won't. And then people will realize, okay, there's really not much difference between either one of them. They both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. In the end, it's kind of a wash. So just play the hot hand. But for right now, Hornibrook's the mysterious
Messiah.
one.
No, he's the Messiah, man. Imagine this all works out to where he's going to play well against NC State. I think, golly, anybody could play well against NC State right now.
Hey, what are you doing, jinxing this? You're trying to jinx it. I see what you're doing.
The turnaround is happening, brother. It is underway, man. The revolution is televised. It's on the ACC Network. You just can't see it.
By the way, up here in Atlanta, AT&T U-verse is now on board with the ACC Network.
Oh, they just caved. Look at that.
So when I'm up here, I got the ACC Network. I watched a little bit of the Bowden Dynasty last night. Okay. So boom.
Fantastic. We'll be at a point where this team will sneak and be. Maybe they'll finish 8-4. They maybe finish 8-4, 7-5, and it's just going to be. And Willie can't lose for winning or win for losing or whatever the clever comment is. But there's going to be all these sort of comments. Well, if they would have started Hornibrook week 1, we would have won 10 games. Bet you we would have 10 games and started Hornibrook week. So it's all happening. I'm mentally preparing myself for it. I'm preparing all the fans for what we're going to talk about in November and December as they're getting prepared for a bowl game. It's I have nothing against Alex Hornibrook, man. Alex Hornibrook seems like a pretty good dude. Hung out with him in Louisiana for a day at the Manning Passing Academy. Just teammates like him. He's not this dynamic is nothing like what the dynamic was last year. Big fan of James Blackman. Have been since day one. But you got to play whoever's best. But it's just very entertaining for me as somebody who has to cover this team that doesn't have a lot of fun angles to cover currently. Just to kind of watch the fan base sort of run free and run wild with the quarterback position. Which, and it's not a Florida State centric thing. This happens everywhere. It's like my mom. I remember when I played soccer. I wanted to play goalie even though I was really small. And my mom's like, absolutely not. And my dad's like, let him play goalie. And she's like, no, I don't want him to play goalie because if they lose, everyone's going to blame him. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom.
Smart.
So, yeah, she was looking out for me. So, yeah, mamas, don't let your sons grow up to be quarterbacks and attend a prestigious Power 5 team. Because when he starts doing not so well and the other guy does, it's all over. Crazy how it happens, though.
But if he does well, he's the king of the world and is going to get paid a lot of money and get to play football for 15 years.
Touche. That he is. Otherwise, really bad day out of the media again. We went 2 for 4 for you folks. We had nothing. No one had anything really to ask Willie. We asked about the kicking competition. Willie said it's been fun, whatever that means. So it's been fun. Don't know if that means Roberto's still the guy. Said they've both been doing a good job. I would assume Roberto's probably still going to kick the field goals. Otherwise, Jawan is still day-to-day. And the defense has been playing well because they're playing more aggressive and confident because it seems like they know what they need to do. So that's about it was a 4.5-minute, 5-minute interview, which is pretty short. Willie wasn't trying to get out of there in a hurry, but just no one had anything to ask him. We failed you. Sorry, everybody.
So y'all didn't get to watch practice either, did you?
Correct. Yeah, we only get the Tuesday when you're here.
So you got to get up, go over there, and you both. I think there's 2 of you there, right? Or were there 3 of you? Ira, if you're listening to this, we got to figure out something. Let Aslan go 1 week. There's no reason, especially if it's only going to be a 5-minute interview, and you're not getting anybody else. Like usually, for the people that don't know, on Tuesday and Wednesday we try to have 3 or 4 people there. And granted, I'm saying this where on Wednesday I'm never down there, but we try to have 3 or 4 people there because they bring out coaches and players at the same time. So we want to be able to get all the players that talk. But on Thursday it's just Willie. There's no players, no other coaches. So my suggestion is Aslan. Why don't you tell Ira, hey, I'll be here Thursday for the Clemson week. Next Thursday, it's on you to film. And then you just go back and forth. Maybe even throw Austin in there one day, or Gene, or me, if I'm in town. That's all I'm saying. I feel like that's a good idea, right?
That message brought to you by Hudge of Andy LLC. Check is in the mail, Corey. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. NC State comes into town. What is it, 7:30 kickoff?
7:30 kickoff on ACC Network. I was going to say, when you talk about don't let your parents grow up to be quarterbacks, man, don't let your kid grow up to be a field goal kicker.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. I mean, that kid, that was a big kick he made at Virginia. A really big one. Maybe the biggest of his career at the moment. That one, I think he kicked one against Miami last year, right before the half. Mm-hmm. But that was a huge kick. And then the next week, he's awful. Obviously, he's not very good. And people are like, I don't ever want to see Ricky Aguayo again. So it's kind of every position, really, Aslan. But quarterback, a little more magnified.
Yeah, just feed your kid a whole bunch of food and let him be Robert Cooper, and no one will ever notice what he's doing, good or bad. So you got to take it. It's the way it works. All right. Actually, I forgot. We have all these Renegade Express questions we didn't get to. Hooray. We're going to have another hour-long program, everybody. Kenny Shaw coming up a little bit later, over-unders. Also coming up here momentarily, but as I scramble here, we'll get back to the Renegade Express, and we'll finish off the questions from what we left off on. So without further ado, Corey, as I'm scrolling, we're almost there, I promise you. We ended off with how come nobody likes James Blackman anymore, which is a really poignant question. And we go to Breezy B701. Hey, guys, long-time listener, first-time caller. Just want to let you know I'm a part of that 10% you guys mentioned who are for slowing things down, but I only want them to do that when the game dictates it. They did, man. They ran a 4-minute offense against Louisville. They showed you. When you have a lead towards the end of the half or towards the end of the game, instead of moving quickly and giving the other team the ball with time left, up until this game, we go hurry up and let the opposing team get the ball back and probably score against this defense. I don't want them to slow down mid-game just to use it to your advantage when need be. They did a good job of that during the Louisville game, not so much the end of the first half against Boise. Thanks. All right.
Virginia. They inexplicably called a timeout down near the goal line against Virginia with like a minute and a half left or some minute 16 or something. They called it a quick timeout. Only to they scored a play or two later but gave Virginia enough time to get down towards field goal range, but they threw an interception. But yeah, I thought they did really well. I thought that's the first time we've seen them do that, where that last drive against Louisville, they really kind of milked it. They milked, what would they milk, like 4 minutes off that clock?
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like quintessential 4-minute offense. It was pretty impressive. Alex Hornibrook did it, so there you go, right? Love you, James.
There you go.
Keep your head up, buddy.
He's used to milking things up in Wisconsin.
Hey-ho. Dan Finn, 1989. He's been around since August 2015. This is only his 4th post. Wake up. Man, I truly want it to be fixed, but I have a hard time with the idea that the team has eliminated stupid penalties when the Pope is kicking a guy on the ground in the red zone and Terry is giving a peace sign on a key score in the 4th quarter. A flag on either one of those plays could have changed the outcome. I hope they got more than a talking to. How many more games without any of this crap will it take to feel they have got that problem under wraps?
Yeah,
well,
the Terry thing
Pope's coming back.
We've talked about that though a lot. The Terry thing, and we'll see. The Dante Lucas thing, man. I just don't understand what he was supposed to do there. The kid was really trying to wrench his ankle, like he was nowhere near the play, and he wouldn't let him up. Like Dante is trying to break free, and he keeps twisting his ankle. I guess you could be like, "Hey, ref, he's still twisting my ankle. I hope he doesn't break it. Can you do something here?" Or you make sure he stops. So I think that's why he didn't get a flag, is because the ref realized what was happening. I hope. But yeah, that would have been a bummer. But I mean, I think at the end, the refs would have gotten a lot of, attention for not calling the flag on the Louisville kid for trying to wrench his. It would have been like flagging the Louisiana Monroe kid for getting mad at Dontavius Jackson.
Yes.
Maybe. It was just ridiculous. It was out in the field where everybody saw it. It wasn't even in the middle of a pile. It was just ridiculous that the refs would let that go on. That kid was not doing anything related to football. He was just trying to rip his foot. It was ridiculous. Dante, I'm with you, buddy. Tamarian, don't ever do it again.
Have any of your friends, like when you got married to Shanna, Corey, did you guys send out paper invitations, or were you guys ahead of the curve? I just got an invitation in my email as we're doing this for a wedding for my good friend. I'm like a good friend of his.
We mailed those out. Yeah, we mailed those out.
Come on, man. He's rich. He's really rich. Well, he's not really rich, but he's doing well. Come on, man. Emailing me at invite.
What do you want? You want it for like your scrapbook or something?
No, man, come on. Treat me like I'm an important person, man. I treat you like you're an important person. Whatever, man. Conway T 4811. The ghost of Aguayo passed. I actually miss seeing all of Aguayo's field goal attempts until watching the condensed game just now, thanks to Corey's recommendation. Wow. Did not realize he missed each of them terribly. I can understand missing one, but all three were way off the mark. That was a remarkably terrible performance. Do we see Grotehouse or maybe even Fitzgerald starting the game at kicker? And if we do, is the Aguayo era done at FSU?
Yeah, I think, and I think you do too, that Aguayo will still get the first crack at it. If he misses another field goal in this game, especially his first one, the boos will rain down. Let's be honest. Ricky is not the most beloved player on this team for reasons that have nothing to do with football. Anyway, so
I like
if you
turtles.
get what?
Nothing.
Okay, so I think people are maybe itching to boo a little bit anyway, that kid. So if he gives them another reason on the field, that's definitely going to happen. And then, I think you have to make a change because that last one that he kicked, that looked like something that you would see in a middle school game. It went straight left. It never had a prayer, and it was the shortest one of the bunch. And you would have thought that when you pulled the first two left, and if anything, you overcorrect. No, my man just was like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'll figure this thing out. And it went even further left, which was crazy. So, you wonder about if it's a mental thing now, much like his brother. I would certainly think that Grotehouse would get a chance if Aguayo starts out poorly again. But, hey, let's not forget that he made an and one there at the end of the game. He made a field goal and got fouled there at the end, and then made his last extra point. So, and that's another thing, man, extra points, I know they're automatic around here lately, but you never know with a new kicker how they're going to do even on an extra point. And you can always pretty much chalk up Ricky to make those things.
Yeah. GSL 7532. Good morning, my G's. I honestly believe that if 12 had been named the starter from the jump, we would be 4-0. There you go. James Blackman, great kid, hard worker, just doesn't have it. If he's not throwing the ball deep down the field, it's almost like he doesn't want to throw. And when he has to make the simple reads, he is very inaccurate. He also seems to be a sitting duck in the pocket, doesn't move around. How do you guys feel about the quarterback battle going forward? Do you believe JB should stay the starter or wait and see how Alex Hornibrook does in this NC State game?
Yeah, I'll answer that. It's not a cop-out, really. I just think it's such a small sample size, and it's not against a good defense. I do, and not that NC State is either, but I do want to see. I'll have a much more firm opinion after the NC State game, right? And that's fair, right? We're putting so much into 20 passes.
This is what people do. People listen to you so that you can take your time to think of an opinion, just like
hey, man, sometimes you got to be like that. I can't rush to this. He looked good, but it was for a couple of quarters. James Blackman looked really good for a couple of quarters multiple times this year. So I want to see the totality of a game and then compare it to the Louisville game and then see if this kid really runs the offense as well as we think he does.
Not to stick up too much for my guy and be a Blackman apologist, even more so than I am. Boise and Virginia are a little bit different than Louisville and NC State. So I hope people factor that into their calculus, but they're not. Corey, I read you the poll, dude. like 900 people on the tribal council. And
do it after the NC State game. Do another one. For real, that's not a joke. I want to see it if he struggles a little bit, or if they score 31 points, which is just what they score. Do another one and see what people think. I think he got people really excited with those 3 touchdown drives. He did seem to be completely in control and calmer and a little bit more poised maybe in the pocket than James was, but it was also a small sample size. Blackman's got, 120 attempts this year? Hornibrook's got 20. So, and he's played tougher defenses. So let's see what people think after the NC State game. And it really won't matter who starts against Clemson.
I think the quarterback battle, I think Hornibrook starts Saturday against NC State. I think he lights it up. I think they tell James, take it easy this week on the bye. And then Clemson week comes around. I think they let Hornibrook start that again. And as long as he doesn't go 9 of 27 with 4 picks, he'll start against Wake. And if he beats Wake, then it's him for the rest of the year. And that's it, man. That's life, unfortunately, sometimes for people.
I think they both will play. I think they will both play in both of those games.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's what I'm thinking. That's Corey Clark's prediction. You can take that to the bank. That's the Coracle talking. They're both going to play on the road.
Yeah, and when I say I don't think James will start. I mean, I think he'll get spot duty there, but I think if he plays well in Wake Forest, which I think he'll end up starting against Wake Forest as well, Hornibrook, and he does well and they beat Wake Forest, then I don't see James Blackman starting any more games this season, barring injury. Noel Holla says he's killing time waiting on Azala. Just wants to let us know that he thinks if Hornibrook stays quarterback as starter, 9-3 is the record. I mean,
wow,
they love him. Man.
All right, hey, look. It is cool for Florida State fans to be excited about something. I'm not going to poo-poo that. I don't like to poo-poo in general, Aslan. You know that. Yeah. I'm not big in poo-pooing. But it's cool that people are excited about this. They think this guy is the answer. I hope he is. It'd be cool to go to a good bowl. It'd be cool to go to a bowl, period. But I just think let's pump it a little bit, pump the brakes a little bit, and let's see what it looks like Saturday night with the team that has a week to prepare for Hornibrook, and let's see what happens and how it goes. If he puts 50 on the board, well, yeah, man, get excited, folks. Let's go storm Tennessee Street together. I'm going to be at Bulls. Aslan, I don't know where you go. Usually you go to Potts. I can't remember where you go after games.
I'm at Potts.
Okay, and I'm at Bulls. So we'll be there. So come say hello because we're streaming. We're streaking down Tennessee Street because we're excited about Florida State football again.
That's right.
I'm just pumping my brakes a little bit right now. But by all means, I'm not poo-pooing anything.
Big Steve-O, 22. Wake up, fellas. Good win on Saturday. Feels the team needs to adopt a killer mentality. He does think the reason the offense stalls is due to defensive adjustments. The stalling for as long as we do is problematic and needs to get fixed. Shouts out Marvin and his effort on that last play. And I know you guys are saying NC State's a very bad team, but what if we blow them out versus Jameis style, 63-0, like they did against Maryland? Do you both still feel the same way going to Clemson that we will get blown out? Yeah.
Probably. I can't. Number one, that's not happening, the 63-0. But if it did, if they won like 49-17, I still think. I mean, you feel better, right? You feel like maybe it would be competitive in the sense that it wouldn't just be an abject embarrassment like it was last year. Like they're going to go up there and compete. They're going to believe in themselves a little bit. Maybe they make Clemson have to play at least 2.5, 3 quarters of a real game. Make it so Trevor Lawrence has to play late in the third quarter. That's a crazy thing to say. I understand it. But it's just the reality. They were up, what were they up, 59-3? They're trying to throw touchdowns to Dabo's kid. Keep Dabo's kid and Brent Venables' kid on the sideline where they belong. That's your goal when you go to Clemson, no matter what happens against NC State. That's your goal.
It's like going into the Louisville game, I had a feeling that Louisville was going to be a problem. I even thought Louisville could pull off the upset. So I'm going into last week thinking about this team maybe finishing the year 4-8, 3-9.
Oh, I thought 3-9 was on the table. Man, 3-9 was definitely on the table after Louisiana Monroe. Like that was, I couldn't foresee 2 other wins or 3 other wins. I couldn't see 2 other wins other than Alabama State. Like I couldn't see it. It's like 3-9 is probably a likelihood.
Yeah. So, they play the way they did against Virginia. Then they beat Louisville, and now you got your 2 wins. Things look good. I mean, the defense looked much better. The offense with either quarterback looked good. I know that's not really a great Louisville team, but you have NC State coming to town. They're not all that good either. And I do think you'll beat them like 45-17, 45. I think Florida State wins big in this game. So then at that point, you start thinking like, wow, man, like maybe crazy enough, this thing really is like And I'm just like, hey, Aslan, do you remember what you were thinking 2 weeks ago? And now since you beat Louisville and NC State, you're like, hey, maybe they actually will play Clemson tight. Maybe they actually will win 8 games. Maybe they actually will beat Miami and Florida. Like, I don't know. That it's. People are starting to believe that. I don't want to poo-poo on that to your point. But that's where people are at right now. It's like you string together 2 wins where you probably win by multiple scores. You won by multiple scores against Louisville. I think you're going to win big against NC State. And then if you do play Clemson decent, then the sky's the limit. Then people are going to think you can run the table. And you possibly could. And then listen, we're talking about the Renaissance. And then maybe 2011 isn't the year. Maybe 2020 does remain the year. because 2020 was the year when he took the job. Last year with all the good vibes and everything, you appear like, man, I'm so excited for Lethal Simplicity, but I really think, 2020 will be our year. Give him his third season will really be the year. We might be back on that same schedule. We might be back on the schedule, all because Cyrus Fagan picked off a pass.
Yeah. Hey, man, sometimes things turn on a dime.
Crazy.
I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. Yeah, man, I think I say it every week. I do think this is a really interesting, fascinating game to see if another step, like not just a win, although you need to win this game. If you don't win this game, I think you're looking 4-8 right back on the table.
Terrible. This is a bad team. It's a worse team than Louisville.
Probably. I mean, yeah, they lost. They were not good against West Virginia. They barely beat whoever that was, Ball State. They struggled with Ball State. But if you win this game comfortably, then okay, yeah, you start to feel good vibes. If it plays out the way it has the last 4, where you get up to a pretty big lead and then they come back and then either you answer or you don't, I don't know how much better you feel vibe-wise going into the bye week. But if you can actually extend this thing and win comfortably, I mean, if they won 45-17, man, think about what this program would feel like. Okay, all right, you're 3-2, you keep getting better every week, and you're legitimately 2-3 plays away from being 5-0 and ranked like 12th in the country. Now, the same token is if Louisiana Monroe doesn't miss an extra point, I get it. But you'd start seeing things and feeling good about this program again. Like, man, they are making steps. If not only with a win, but a win that looks like an emphatic win, not please, sweet mercy, please come through here in the fourth quarter. Not one of those wins, but an actual, hey, we're going to get to see Jordan Travis in this game. I think that'd be a big step, don't you? A 45-17 thing would be something that I would never poo-poo.
Get ready, man. Get your column ready. Write it out, man.
I can't wait.
Skeleton it out right now. That's what it's going to be like. Big Steve-O, we also do send out continued good vibes to his son Gavin, who's battling his rare illness. Also adds, have you guys been watching what Dalvin Cook has been doing in the NFL? When you think back at his time with FSU and the offensive line he played behind, do you consider him the best FSU back ever?
Yes. And I love work done. Huge fan of work done, on and off the field. Couldn't be bigger. Dalvin Cook is a better football player, or better running back, in my opinion.
Nollmaker, with all the attrition on the defensive side of the ball, has there been any update on the Travis J situation? It's been silent for a month. See, I should have read this beforehand. I could have maybe asked Willie that when nobody asked him anything. But no,
no update. They haven't told us anything, right?
Yeah. Last time we asked, nothing had changed. No news, bad news. So.
And he always says when something changes, we'll let you know. And he hasn't. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that maybe Travis J isn't out there on Saturday, but that would be a big surprise.
Okay. All right. That's it, man. We're done with the questions.
We're done?
Let's get to the over-unders, Corey. Are you prepared?
Let's do it. Let's go. Come on, quick. I got somewhere to be. I love you guys. You know that, but I got somewhere to be.
I'm currently up 4 on you. You gained 1 game on me in week 4. So let's go ahead. Let me get to the email. Sorry, Corey. All that great gusto. All right, here we go. Cam Akers rushes 27. Over, under.
Under.
Actually, hold on, I did the wrong thing. I'm like writing all this down. Corey says under. No, you're going to over 27? Come on. NC State's terrible. Are you thinking Kalen LeBourne's going to finally start eating a bunch?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do think you have to do some workload management here at some point. If you want to beat Wake Forest and Miami and Florida, you might need Cam Akers not to be completely exhausted by the end of the season.
You guys are talking about like they're running him into the ground like Eddie George or something. Relax, man.
He's got to be one of the leaders in the country in carries, right? Or touches. I mean, he's like 30. He's averaging like 30-something a game. That's a ton.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen at Florida State.
Well, still, I mean, just because it hasn't happened before. It's a new day, brother. Lethal simplicity.
True. You're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's top 10 in terms of carries in the country. Marvin Wilson's Pro Football Focus grade, 86.
I'm going to say under, just because he's the best player on the team, but that's just that's a high number, and eventually maybe he has a subpar game. So I'm going to say under. That's a good number though to have.
I'm going to say over. I'm going to try to let you get back into this competition. I think Marvin.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
We've been talking too good about him this whole week. He can't have a letdown. Amari Gaynor tackles 6.5. I'm going to take the under. That seems like a big number.
Yeah, I am too. That seems pretty big. That would be a career high, I think.
FSU's longest play from scrimmage, 48.5 yards. Over, under.
What was it, 48?
48.5 yards.
I'm going to say over.
Absolutely.
I think they're hitting a big one.
Absolutely.
And I think they're going to all flat. He's not going to flash the peace sign this year. He's just going to go straight up double birds like that kid in the stands.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, man. How, like, yeah.
I
can't. Yeah,
I'm with you. I mean, how does that happen?
Sometimes I just want a kid just so I can criticize other parents. Because I don't have a kid, so I can't criticize parents because I don't know what it's like. But anyhow, overall attendance, official attendance rather, 55,500.
Over. I'm bullish. It's going to be a night game. I think people are going to, it's going to be a big walk-up crowd. Nothing to do. There's no good games. So people will be like, yeah, there's no reason to stay home. We got a game right here in our lovely city. Let's go watch these Noles play the Wolfpack and try to get some revenge from last season. So over.
I got to say under. I think I'll be wrong.
Yeah,
I think you'll
smart.
be caught. I can't imagine 13,000 more people deciding to change their weekend plans based off.
It's the Hornibrook effect.
It could be that, right? Yeah. And last one, total points, official, 61.5 points. I think they're going to score 40-something, but I don't know how much NC State's going to be able to hang on them. I'm going to say under. Just I think it'll be like 40, 45, 14 kind of thing, 45-17.
Yeah, you are really fired up about this game. You've never covered a game like that, have you?
Yeah, I did. No. Samford game, bro. Didn't we hung big points on Samford?
No, that game came down to Levante having a pick six at the end.
Oh, like a big, comfortable closeout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've never seen them win a game comfortably.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe the Northern Illinois game last year, kind of. I think I'm going to say under. I think I'm going to say under too. I think you're looking at, something like 35 to 20, 33 to 20, something like that.
Actually, I'm going to veto that. I'm going to veto the Williams Sportsbook. I'm going to go with this, Corey. 39.5 over under Florida State points. I'm taking the over.
Under.
Okay, there we go.
Under, and then we get another QB controversy heading into the bye week.
Can't wait. It's going to be great.
I can't either. It's been my life for 12 years.
Yeah. All right, folks. Hey, keep it here. We'll be right back. Kenny Shaw, the raw one, breaking things down, talking about the Noles, his time in Tallahassee, all that good stuff. Next on Wake Up War Champ, presented by Zaxby's.
At Birch Orthodontics, they know what a difference a beautiful and healthy smile can make in your life.
They take the time to get to know you and perform a thorough exam so that they can make an individualized treatment plan just for you or your child.
They use the latest technology in a warm and comfortable environment. So whether you are interested in traditional metal or clear braces or clear aligners, they can give you the smile you deserve. They know investing in your smile means investing in your future. And at Birch Orthodontics, they are honored to be a part of your smile journey.
Serving Tallahassee for 16 years and supporting the Noles since forever. Check them out at birchorthodontics.com. BURCH orthodontics.com. Welcome back to Wake Up War Champ, presented by Zaxby's. I'm Aslan. Corey's here as well, and we are joined by none other than Kenny Shaw. And Kenny, we're going to go ahead and edit that out. We don't curse on the show, but I felt like I had to give you a nice, proper welcome onto the program, man. Keeping it 300 still, I imagine?
Always.
All right, man. So, Kenny, the whole raw mentality, the raw aesthetic that you carried out, where did this all come from? I love it. I'm on board, by the way. We're all on board with it. It's a lifestyle, right?
Well, honestly, I woke up one day and there's a guy from my former high school, Dr. Phillips. He a YouTuber, and he had this Kenny Shaw's Raw YouTube video going, and it brought back memories because it was before it was all Kenny Shaw's Raw. He would say that in high school, like, because he was always 3 years above me, so he started that way back in high school. And once people saw it and once it got ringing in their ears, they took it and ran with it, and I didn't complain.
Right on. How many people, so like when people come up and talk to you, Kenny, the first thing they bring up as Florida State fans, is it you getting leveled in Gainesville but then getting right off the field like nothing even happened to you, or is it the touchdown catch against Boston College?
Man, honestly, it's so much things, and that's a good thing about fan bases, and I actually listen to fans when they come up, so it's a little bit of Oklahoma here, it's a little bit of Florida, it's a lot about a memory we might had in the nightlife, or it can be something about my character. So it's a good mix of me just being versatile, and I can't tell you which one outweighs the other one.
Kenny, when did Jameis was a redshirting in 2012? When did you guys know or understand that? I mean, EJ Manuel was a very good quarterback and a first round pick, but when did you guys realize that, man, Jameis is different? Like, he's even better than EJ. Like, was that the Pitt game? Was it in the spring beforehand? Was it in August beforehand? When did you guys realize how good Jameis was?
Well, just to backtrack, we never, as athletes, we never like to compare each other, like say who's better, who's best. We just like to play because at the end of the day, we're a brotherhood. But we knew Jameis had this ability to lead us even as a youngin when, it started like in the FIG and just in the practices when he wasn't getting reps, but he was still vocal, and even traveling on the road games, if we wasn't playing up to par, he'll be in the starting quarterback phase. I remember one game he was in EJ's face, and we was like, man, we like his fire, but we had to tell him tone it down a little bit at first. Right. But we saw the fire there already, and we saw that as a football player, you got to be able to listen. And I feel like if you people watch and you know who you got on your team, then the sky's the limit. And Jameis saw that with us, and that's why his brotherhood would be for life.
I would wonder though, and you mentioned it a little bit, like, man, you're a junior at that time. EJ's a senior. There's this freshman that's yelling at you guys sometimes or getting in your face. Did part of you want to be like, man, shut up? You're redshirting. Who are you to be yelling at us? Or did you appreciate it even in the moment? Or did it take, now we're 7 years of hindsight to appreciate even what he was as a redshirting freshman?
Well, I think he came in already with that fire. So once he got going, it wasn't nothing new to us. So it was like, even though we wanted to tell him, relax a little bit, that was him from first day on campus till when he got the starting position. And right. That's we had to, that was him. Once you figure out a player's personality and what they bring, you can't stop their train from rolling.
Kenny Shaw joining us here on Wake Up War Chant, presented by Zaxby's. He, along with Dedrick Dodge, will be guest speakers at Sod Talk, which goes down an hour and a half before kickoff, right next to the Sod Cemetery. They actually have these nice tents because it's so hot out. So if you're looking at the Sod Cemetery, everybody, just turn around. And Kenny Shaw, Dedrick Dodge, they'll be up there talking about their time at Florida State. Kenny, you finished up your career in 2013, so you weren't here for the absolute magnifying glass and all the tumult that was going on in 2014. But was there any sense in 2013 as things started winding down about just how much it was like you guys against the world, and was that a factor at all in you guys being able to ultimately hoist the crystal ball and win the national championship?
I mean, it was never, and that's where teams go wrong once they try and involve the outside world, because at the end of the day, you're on campus and you spend years with those guys, and y'all just build like I keep saying, a brotherhood, and you take that and you keep going. So you come in, like I said, I was Jimbo's first class, so once we came in, we already had a little cult going. So we, as you saw throughout the years, it progressed. Like we started out, 9 wins first, and each year it just gets better and better. And once that light clicked, and like I said, we work as one, we can't be stopped. And we sensed it, I will say around, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. And that's when things really started rolling.
Okay.
When did you feel, but you guys had good teams. In 2012, had a chance to be a great team. Just a tough loss at NC State and a tough loss at Florida kept you guys, or at home against Florida, kept you guys from an undefeated season. But 2013 started. I think y'all were number 12 in the country. Not huge expectations relatively to Florida State. When did you realize, man, we might be the best team in the country?
I realized it that spring when coaches didn't have to get on us about going to 7-on-7. They didn't have to get on us about going to class. And, we always, like you said, we always had good teams, but there will always be a little things that will just keep us from getting to that next level. But everything was clicking in all aspects, on the field, off the field, accountability on all spectrums. Even the coaches was taking accountability. And I'm going to mention it at the side talk, but for us to really get back to that 2013 mindset and how we went about things, I feel like everyone has to come together, and that's including the fans, because we was rocking. We had our brotherhood going. We had the fans filling up the stadium. Man, student tickets were selling out in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot going. It was a lot going, and even the coaches was taking ownership of a lot of stuff, and it was less finger pointing. It's more, I got a job to do, and this person is counting on me. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you that about, Kenny. I'm sure you saw the stands on, and I've been doing this. I've been covering this team for 12 or 13 years. I've been coming to Florida State games since I was 8 years old. I've never seen the stadium look like it did on Saturday against Louisville. It was, I think, 42,000 was the announced attendance. It was definitely less than that by the end of the game.
That was a spring game attendance,
That's what I'm saying. So what, as a former player who was there with the greatest team in Florida State history, where every game was sold out and people were so excited, number one, how sad is it for you to see that? And number two, yeah, I guess you were touching on it a little bit, but what can be done to get back, and how confident are you that it will come back?
I like I said a little earlier with the trend, things don't always start out smooth. They don't always go accordingly, and I just think the fans need to realize that this is a Power 5 school, and from my recollection, Florida State has always been hated. So we're gonna get an A game from if we play a high school team. That's just how it is. So it's not easy to go from 13 to now with the same mentality as, we got to have the same execution and everything. So, like I say, everybody just got to, relax and just realize that, it's the wave will be back. You can't hop on and off of it when things aren't going right, because that's life at the end of the day.
Kenny, want to talk about the time that you spent in the CFL. What was it like playing ball in the CFL? I mean, if there's some words you want to just use to describe your time in Toronto, like what are the memories that you took away from, playing in the CFL?
Sure. You got first year you got from going to, man, what is this? Like, do I want to be up here? Till the second year, eclipsing 1,000 yards with a QB named Ricky Ray, who's the Tom Brady of the league. And it's just a lot of emotions when it comes to Canada, because, I tell everybody now, if you got a passport, just get up there, man. It's peaceful. Everyone's friendly. Great scene, great everything. And it's what I took out of it is, once one door closes, another one will always open. And anybody, whatever occupation you got, I feel like everyone should have that mindset and don't be down on yourself, because, like I said today on the Instagram caption, like, it always get greater later. So hopefully that tunes in back to the fans, like, this hold on, like it'll be back, and hopefully in the future years I can help them out officially in getting back there.
And I know you've done some of that, I guess, here in the offseason and trying to help out some of the current players. But for you, what was the decision like to ultimately come back to Tallahassee and finish your diploma? I know that just kind of sounds like, everybody, aspires to obviously play pro, and once that's over, they want to come and get their degree. But I don't know how many guys actually go through with it. Just how important was that for you, and what has that done for the trajectory of your life?
It was very important. As I mentioned, life sometimes, it's unexpected, and sometimes you just got to prepare for the future. And I just said, I'm tired of getting these degree completion emails every off season while I'm chilling, and let me actually hit these people up and see how long I got. And I thought I had a whole year to finish, but when they hit me with I have 12 hours left, I said it's not going to be easy adjusting back to the city, number one, because it's a different culture, as I saw, but this is important for the future, as I said. And while I'm back here, I'm gonna just get out my good deeds and help out with the boys a little bit, get some little training sessions going, and help out where I can.
How good do you think this team can ultimately be? I mean, you said your caption says that it'll be greater later. Just being around the guys, watching, about a year and a half now, this coaching staff try to install their culture. I mean, just what are your kind of your expectations and your assessment of how things are going?
I think it's going upward. As everyone keeps saying, and I don't understand why they're getting so down. We blew 3 leagues, if I'm not mistaken. And
4.
And that 4.
I think we not, Corey. Florida State's been in the lead, and actually, were they in the lead against Virginia or no?
Yeah, they were in the lead in the fourth quarter against Virginia.
Yeah, so in every game, Kenny, they've had a lead. They've held on twice, so that's a good thing.
Right, and that ultimately comes back to accountability, which it can be monitored, and that comes with confidence. That comes with fan support. That comes with coaching taking ownership. That comes with, I stick by this, and each group I just named have different projections. I think with who has to take the most accountability. And it ultimately comes to the players taking the most of it. Coaches can only do so much. Fans can only support so much because, nothing lasts forever. But at the end of the day, the players have to, buckle down and realize that four league changes, man, I'm calling the team meeting tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, got to get this going. It's an issue, and we got to buckle down because not many realize, but once your tenure is done at that school and ball is done at Florida State, it becomes more of a business. It becomes less fun. It becomes time consuming. And I just want them to get the full effect of Florida State as I did. And if I have to pour it into them as I did a little bit when I was back getting my degree, then I'll do that on and on.
Kenny, I only got one more question for you. What was the maddest that Jimbo ever got with you?
Oh, my gosh. Dude, I think the maddest he got was, and it comes with losses. Like, with a loss, not losing a lot at Florida State and then getting a loss that week, everyone's on edge. And it's it's a ass chewing about to come. So I don't know. I think a loss. We had a loss to, I want to say, Florida in that junior year, and we get to preparing for the next week, and I don't know. I think I missed tutoring or a dinner or something, and Jimbo chewed me out. We got into it. And that's the thing with Jimbo. He will take something like off the field and say you dropped the pass in practice. He's like, yeah, see, you ain't, that's when I go in study hall and blah, blah, blah. He's like,
Right.
Man, what? And then now you snapping back because you like, man, I knew you. I saw your vibe. I knew you was going to snap on me. And I just remember getting kicked off the field. But, as players, I don't know how they take it nowadays, but, I always took the lashings out as man, this guy care about me. I got kicked off the field, but he wanted to see me in his office, so we gonna square it out. But I remember that day.
What would he have done if you flashed the peace sign as you were scoring a touchdown? Like Tamorian did that. Tamorian did that the other day, and could have gotten penalized. He didn't. But I was wondering. I think Taggart talked to him. Coach Taggart talked to him afterwards and gave him a pretty. He chewed him out a little bit, I think. But what would Jimbo have done to you if before you got to the end zone you flashed a defender the peace sign?
He's meeting me as I'm coming off the field celebrating, and he's cameras or not, I'm getting a lashing. But
Right.
we like I said, we just had a standard that, you know, if we're gonna do celebration, do it in practice when, you know, where we're going against the toughest defense ever. You feel what I'm saying? Like we kind of already knew if we scored that it was going. We don't execute it so much in practice. So once we get to the game, it's like I don't need to throw up no piece, man. You know what I'm saying? We watch film, we don't prepare. I don't need to do it. We'll celebrate. I do the peace sign or whatever dance moves I got, you know, celebrating the win in the nightlife afterwards.
Right, gotcha.
Kenny Shaw, so many great memories from you. You'll be sharing them at the SA Talk on Saturday. That's 90 minutes before kickoff, along with Dedrick Dodge. My favorite memory, Kenny, I'm always going to remember you in Gainesville, going over the middle, no business doing that, and just getting laid out. And I'm like, oh, no, my boy, they're going to have to get the helicopter out there. But then you get up like the Undertaker in like half a second. So you're like the toughest dude, probably pound for pound, who's come through this program, man. We appreciate your time. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank y'all.
Unlike fanny packs, bowl cuts, and troll dolls, the sensation is back, only at Zaxby's. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich features hand-breaded chicken, Asian slaw, wonton strips, and citrus vinaigrette, and both are served with an egg roll. The Sensation Salad and the new Sensation Filet Sandwich meal for a limited time, only at Zaxby's. And skip the line when you order ahead on the Zaxby's app or on Zaxby's.com.